Hello, all you beautiful people out there, and welcome to my channel for another live stream. Sorry I haven't been on lately. I've been battling a sore throat, probably allergies. Oh, excuse me. Yeah. And then other times I've been battling anxiety, so, you know, there's no telling when I'm going to be on. So anyway, with that out of the way, um, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the Satanic Panic in general, and then I'm going to be talking about specifically the role of Dungeons and Dragons in the Satanic Panic. Now, most of my viewers know that the Satanic Panic had its height in the 80s and 90s, um, but it started in the 70s and it really had its roots in the 60s. And the Satanic Panic, um, there was some Satanic Panic in Great Britain and Australia and Canada, but a lot of it took place in the United States. And it was basically a culture war. And um, I'm not saying that just because nowadays there's a culture war going on, which, by the way, is very reminiscent of the Satanic Panic, at least the beginnings of it, which is why we've got to stop it before it gets out of hand. It already has gotten out of hand in some pockets of the United States, but unlike in the 80s and 90s, it's not like everybody's getting up in arms about it. So, with this Satanic Panic, um, there was um, a coming of age, I guess you could say, um, in the 60s. Um, I'm not even going to say his name because his name is instantly going to get me demonetized. But let's just say California, and specifically within California, let's say LA. And maybe you know what I'm talking about. Um, Along with, getting demonetized if I say his name. So maybe you know who I'm talking about and what I'm talking about in the 60s in Los Angeles, California. Hey, Zeno. Um, so, um, so what was the Satanic Panic all about? Well, it was more than just Dungeons and Dragons, although Dungeons and Dragons was a large part of it. Um, you had um, CA, which I'm not going to say like what CA stands for. I'm pretty sure most of you know what CA is. Um, but um, America was quote unquote waking up to the reality of CA in the 60s and 70s. Um, so that had something to do with it. And then there was rock music. Um, and I actually have a Satanic Panic series on my channel that I did a lot earlier if you'd like to go see that. But not right now. Finish watching me live and then go watch it. Um, you've got rock and roll. People were losing their minds about rock and roll during the Satanic Panic. And then you've got um, the McMartin preschool trial, which had to do with um, CA. Um, and you will definitely know what CA stands for if you look up the McMartin preschool trial. It was a pretty big deal in America. Um, but then there was um, toys. Toys were under attack in the Satanic Panic. You know, you had He-Man. Leave my He-Man alone. I love He-Man. Even today, I love He-Man. Don't even get me started. But yeah, He-Man was under attack. Um, Smurfs. Smurfs were under attack. Um, I, all of this shit in the Satanic Panic. Um, you know, so all of this is going on, and then you have Dungeons and Dragons, and there was one particular uh, instance that brought Dungeons and Dragons to the um, forefront of the American imagination and got it involved in the Satanic Panic, along with all of this other stuff. Even though one of the inventors, whose name was Gygax, was a Christian. Okay. So anyway, enough said about that. Um, so the event that brought Dungeons and Dragons to the fore of um, the American imagination was, excuse me, a teenager by the name of Dallas Egbert, and I'm going to um, put another name to this, okay, so I don't get demonetized. He unalived himself. Um, he was a teenager. He was 17 when he unalived himself. And he was a prodigy, grew up in Dayton, Ohio, and he entered Michigan State University when he was 16. Um, so, um, you know, probably not a good time for him to go off to college, especially because he had mental health issues, which, by the way, excuse me, PSA, if you have mental health issues, please, please, please get help. Mental health issues are no more to be ashamed of than having diabetes or any other sickness. Okay? So please, please, if you're having mental health issues, go get help. There is no shame in getting help for, in getting help for mental health issues. Like I said, it's the same as having diabetes. Um, so that being said, getting back to Dallas Egbert, um, he because he was a prodigy, he had a hard time getting accepted. And because he was younger than a lot of freshmen, remember he's 16, he's away at college. Um, and he's a lot younger than most freshmen there. So, you know, he's got mental health issues. And at this time, mental health issues, they weren't really talked about. So, he didn't get help for them. And so he wanted to try to blend in with his new environment and started playing Dungeons and Dragons. And if you don't know what that is, most of you do know, but it's a role playing game. It can also be um, a LARPing game. LARP stands for live action role playing, um, which is different from RPG. RPG or role playing game is tabletop. LARPing is live action role playing, um, done outside, done in caves, wherever. So anyway, the the RPG Dungeons and Dragons was being blamed for Dallas Egbert unaliving himself, even though Dungeons and Dragons had nothing to do with it. Like I said, Dallas had um, mental health issues, nothing to be ashamed of, but back then there wasn't a whole lot of help for it. If you by chance did tell somebody you were having mental health issues, you might end up in an asylum. And nobody wanted to end up in an asylum in those days. So, you know, I don't I don't necessarily blame Dallas Egbert for not telling anybody, um, just because of how it was viewed back then. Um, and like I said, if you have mental health issues, please seek help. There's nothing wrong with it. It's no different than having diabetes. They can help you. You mean the McMartin trial? Oh, trust me. Trust me. I remember that on the news like every fucking night. Okay, I was a Christian during this time. Um, it was more fucked up than it was really. I mean, it was really fucked up. That's all I've got to say. Um, but yeah. Um, not only did the trial fuck up a lot of lives because people went to prison that didn't belong in prison and they were finally freed. But the children, not a lot of people think about the children, but the children were um, let's just say they had false memories implanted, and they've had to deal with that. And not everybody remembers the children. And, nowadays everybody's like, think of the children. Well, where was think of the children back at the McMartin preschool trial? But yeah, it was fucked up, Zeno. So anyway, Dungeons and Dragons didn't have anything to do with Dallas Egbert unaliving himself. Okay? Didn't have anything to do with that. Um, he was just, you know, um, had problems. And, you know, I wasn't even, well, let's see. No, I was alive at the time. He died in 1980. I was 3 years old at that time. Um, so, yeah. Um, but that's what brought Dungeons and Dragons into this culture war called the Satanic Panic. You know, it never really died down here. It just went underground, and now it's coming back up. Um, you would not believe some of the stuff that the alt right. I'm not going to get political on this channel, but just yeah. Uh, I was gonna go through a Hey Jill, hang on, let me take my glasses off. I'm getting old. Don't target my kids, liberal. Um, I'm not targeting your kids. Nice pun, by the way. I'm not targeting your kids. I don't give a good goddamn about your kids, Jill. I just want them to grow up to be happy, healthy, well adjusted adults. That's all I care about. I don't I'm not targeting them. Why would you think I'm targeting them? And I know you think that's a clever pun with Target and all that crap. I'm not getting into that. Anyway, uh, Jill's a po, by the way. Um, Rebuke and Reprove. He comes in under that name, Rebuke and Reprove, but um, he goes by another name, which is Jesus is Lord, and, and we just call him Jill. So, at any rate, Yeah, Zeno, I'm sorry. Zeno. Sorry I keep getting you uh, I'm not I promise I'm not getting you confused with the Scientology overlord. Um, I'm just not reading your name properly. Um, so anyway, um, but yeah, it's not like it was in the 80s and 90s where it's widespread. It's just in a little area of America, but come on. Thank you, Zeno. Um, you know, that this is still a thing in the 21st century is just mind-boggling, you know, just mind-boggling. It just makes you wonder, where people's minds are. And it just goes to show, that our education system in America sucks. Anyway, um, but I'm actually not going to show you the video that I had for you. I had it pulled up, and I decided not to because it's got the S word in it, the unaliving word in it, um, which is, you know, man, if we ever get back to the satanic panic, I don't know what I'm going to do. We got to sit. If you are in the United States of America, we have got to stop this from getting out of hand. That's all I'm going to say about it because it's going to give me all kinds of anxiety if I go into it. And then that's just what I need is more anxiety right now, you know. At any rate, so anyway, I think I'll leave you with that. Just you know, fight it. Most Americans most Americans have more sense than this, but there are some Americans that are just plain stupid. I'm sorry. There's no other word but that some Americans are just plain stupid. All you got to do is look at the House of Representatives right now. That's all you got to do. Look at the House of Representatives in 2023. And you will see how very, very stupid some people are. Yeah, Zeno, I'm in Oregon. I don't know where you're in, but I'm in Oregon. And I'm actually in one of the most left leaning counties of Oregon. And one of the most left leaning cities of one of the most left leaning counties of one of the most left left-leaning states. So, yeah. Um, just as a parting message, please, if you are not involved already, involve yourself in the political process. And I'm not just talking about presidential elections. I'm talking about every single election, from local elections on up. That's the only way. That's the only way we are going to get our country back on track. Oh, you live in Illinois. Gotcha. Let me guess, Chicago. You don't have to tell me. Um, at any rate, um, so, like I said, I think our country's headed in the right direction. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Um, and that's all I've got to say. Like I said, I was gonna pull up a a video to watch about D&D, but I'm like, well, let's just talk about it and not go with the video. So, thanks for dropping in. You have a wonderful rest of your day. I may be on later today. I don't know. A lot depends on how I'm feeling later. Um, I just have to, you know, it's minute by minute right now with my anxiety. So, but check out my channel, especially the Satanic Panic series if you're interested in this kind of stuff. Um, there's also one about Dallas Egbert in particular. Um, I think there's an entire, if not Dallas Egbert, then Dallas Egbert is mentioned in the Dungeons and Dragons. So, thumbs up the video. Please subscribe if you haven't, and have a great rest of your day. Bye.